And welcome back to Hannity. Now, just last week, the White House said it was willing to sit down with the Taliban. Tonight, we have another disturbing story to report. The Obama administration has confirmed to Fox News that earlier this month, members of the National Security Council met with this man, Abdullah bin Baya. He is the vice president of the International Union of Muslim Scholars. Now, this is a group that openly supports Hamas and calls for the destruction of Israel. Now, the group was founded by an Egyptian cleric who in the past has called for the death of Americans and Jews and is banned for ever stepping foot in the United States. Now, this highly controversial meeting with bin Baya was first exposed by the Investigative Project on Terrorism. They provided us with this photo. Now, the sit-down was reportedly requested by Gail Smith. Now, she is the NSC's Senior Director of Development and Democracy. Now, a senior administration official told Fox News it was intended to, quote, discuss a wide range of issues, including poverty, global health efforts, and bin Baya's efforts to counter the al-Qaeda narrative. Ms. Smith stated that she looked forward to working with him and with other faith leaders on issues of mutual interest. Really, joining me now is reaction. Former New York City Mayor. Hamas charter calls for destruction of Israel. Kids can't go to the White House, but he can?
This is completely impossible to understand. Why you would have this person in the White House talking to people on the National Security Council, a person who's the vice president of an organization that calls for the destruction of the state of Israel, an organization whose president has advocated killing Israelis and killing Americans. And he's the vice president of the group. So we have somebody sitting in the White House who's part of an organization that has advocated the killing of Americans. What is going on in the White House? Where are they? What planet are they on? I mean,
I got to be honest.
What could they learn from this man?
Nothing. This is scary. This is like the most radical people at the highest levels of our government. Doesn't that scare you?
Could it be incompetence? Did they not check him out properly?
Google?
All of a sudden.
There's Google.
I know.
Wikipedia,
I don't know.
something.
But the president found out about a couple of things from the newspapers. I mean, so it could be we have a White House that's so darn incompetent, they haven't figured out that they have a person who is a high-level official in an organization that is advocating the overthrow of the state of Israel, an organization that has advocated the killing of Americans. To have somebody like that sitting down in the White House is a very, very frightening concept.
Well, that just followed we didn't tell Afghanistan, the Afghani president, Karzai, that we were going to meet with the Taliban. Do you think meeting with the Taliban is a good idea?
No, of course not. Of course it's not a good idea. And the reality is whatever hope that we have to work out a status of forces agreement with Karzai, which we failed to do in Iraq, which is a disaster for us, nobody has any idea how bad Iraq is right now, how much Iran actually controls Iraq. The Obama administration completely blew the whole status of forces agreement. Biden blew that. So right now, we have an Iraq that's really under the control of Iran. If we're not careful, we're going to have an Afghanistan that's in that same situation.
And Syria?
Syria, the president doesn't seem to know what to do about Syria. He's waited so long. He's delayed so much. He's done this, we're going to follow rather than lead. That we're in a situation where there almost isn't a good choice. So we're going to see Iran having tremendous amount of control over Iraq, where we lost so many lives to liberate Iraq. We're going to see them having control over Syria. If we're not careful, they're going to have a great deal of control over Afghanistan as well.
So you're basically saying the entire Middle East is going to be radicalized?
Well, every single thing that you can look at in terms of our foreign policy, since Barack Obama came into office, America is in much greater danger. Our relationship with China is worse. Our relationship with Russia, the reset of our relationship with Russia is a joke. I mean, the reality is we reset it, and now things are much more dangerous. The Middle East is considerably more dangerous. We've got this guy Snowden, who's a fugitive. China's not going to give him to us. Russia's not going to give him to us. And Ecuador and Cuba are just waiting to, stick it in our face.
Why doesn't the president, if you were president, I think I know you well enough. Wouldn't you say, fine, you're going to play games and stick your finger in our face? I'm going to deploy those missile sites in Poland and the Czech Republic.
Well, this is the beginning of it. I mean, both he and Hillary Clinton, at the very, very beginning of the administration, gave up the nuclear defense of a lot of Eastern Europe in order to reset the relationship with Russia. Well, this has become a total failure. They never should have done that without, first of all, they never should have done it. But if you were going to do it, you should have gotten the concessions in advance. These people were so incompetent that they gave away their leverage, and now they have no leverage. I think Putin looks at them and laughs at them. I mean, when I watch Putin sitting there, I see a man who was, the head of the KGB, very tough, strong, probably totally amoral human being, but tough as nails, and he looks at Obama and he says, man, I can roll all over this guy.
And we look weak.
Well, we sure look weak. I mean, it isn't just Obama who looks weak, it's the United States of America that looks weak.
Yeah. All right. Maybe they could have learned a thing or two when you kicked out of our country.
The bullies and tyrants only respect strength.
Well, you kicked out Arafat.
I kicked Arafat out of the...
And then you didn't take the money...
I didn't take the money from the Arab princeling or whatever the heck he was, who used it to try to criticize America's relationship with Israel. Said, keep your $10 million. People who are like that, people who are bullies and tyrants, respect only an exercise of strength. When they see weakness, they roll all over you. And what President Obama has done is project a tremendous amount of weakness.
All right, Mr.